We got an NBA season opening tonight with the Detroit Pistons. It's pretty clear what people think of you and when you are trying to craft and what you think of yourself when you're trying to craft a path to the best case scenario is the best case scenario getting into a wild card game? Is the best case scenario doubling your wins? Is the best case scenario, none of this is great, right? Kind of the best case scenario is you've got the core of a great team. You've really pieced together a great roster for 2026. That's kind of where I think our hope lies, is that the core of a great team for 2025, 2026 is in place.
For the Pistons?
Yes.
Yes. You really hope – I hope the core is in place for 2025 and for 2024. I mean, this is – I know that these guys are young in their careers, but 2026 will be the 5th year for Cade Cunningham in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm expecting more. I think that the Pistons, I think that the core group that they have, because it is so young, there's a lot to work with there. And if you find the right veteran players to add to that they can do through trades and they can do through free agency, but they've got to show a pulse. Look, I don't expect much this year. I don't expect much this year at all from the Pistons in terms of they're not going to push for the playoffs. I thought maybe that was going to be a possibility earlier, but probably not, just given that they haven't played together yet. And I think the conference is tough. So, even if you double your win total from last year, which would put them at 34, you're still way out of the playoff picture. But if you show that you are a team that's on the rise, then other players around the league will take notice of that. And Detroit does have, I would imagine they have some credibility because of the way they have built championships. They're one of those few teams that's actually won a championship in the last 20 years. And if you've got money to spend on players, which they will, and you've got draft capital to trade for others, which they do, they can vastly improve the team. But finding that right player to come here is going to be difficult, because I don't think the guys that they have right now, if this is all they have, then it's probably, a 500 team at best in a couple years. Unless one of these guys just really takes off and becomes a flat out superstar.
Isn't it fair to expect? I mean, if you think about Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, Jaden Ivey, isn't it fair, Ausar Thompson, to expect it's not unreasonable to think one of them should become a flat-out superstar?
Well, I think Cade Cunningham, we can have that expectation. He was the first player taken overall. The other guys are much later in the draft, and you're taking chances. I mean, Ivy, I guess, is higher up.
There were people getting more excited about Ivy than Cunningham last year.
Yeah, I mean, Ivy is exciting because he's more of a pure scorer, but he's got to show more this year. So this is the year that we'll see if the needle moves at all. But again, it's about playing together. How they play the first 10 games of the season isn't going to tell me much. How they're playing games 40 to 50 and comparing that to how they played the first 10, that's where you're going to find out.